Okay, you've got the local boys right here on Around Midnight. Again, I'm Joe Carbonetta. I've got Chevelle Devine right over here and Todd Fluker. And we are live. If you're watching us Friday night, November the 24th, 2017, give us a call, 951-356-6882. Or you can write to us at mixafight@gmail.com, or you can join the conversation that's going on the YouTube chat line right now. You can always tweet Todd at Todd Fluker, Chevelle at Chevelle Devine, or myself at Joe Carbonetta. All right.
Sorry, I'm pretty busy looking at chimps with lipstick.
Why?
Because, Chevelle was talking about it, and it sounded like a funny thing, so, you Google that, and there's a lot of stuff that comes up.
That kind of looks like that AI Sophia that we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Not all of them are chimps.
Looks a little creepy.
Some of them are orangutans.
I agree. It is. What's really creepy is that somebody sat there to put lipstick on these things and take pictures of them.
I'm not sure if that's not Photoshopped some of the time.
I
mean, that one actually has it, putting it on it.
I'm wondering if Weinstein had something to do with this.
Cover girl.
Wow, should I play the crickets again?
Anyway.
I'm not putting my lips on that.
Oh, anyway, okay, all right. So, needless to say, we are past Thanksgiving, just a day out of Thanksgiving, and already we are getting bombarded with the Christmas music.
Well, that started after Halloween.
Well, that's true. That's true. It really did. And there are, everywhere I go, there are places that are just decked out with Christmas lights, and they've been decked out with Christmas lights since almost the day after Halloween, like you said. So, and of course, now the Black Friday sales began, really, they didn't begin today, they began yesterday. In fact,
they began at the beginning of the week.
Yeah, Amazon was already touting Black Friday on Monday. So, I'm just kind of curious to know how you guys feel about all this. With Thanksgiving barely being over and we're now being blitzed by all things Christmas.
All things commercialism.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, I wonder. I used to work retail. I used to work at Warehouse Music, and seriously, with a warehouse. And seriously, that place never closed. It was open every day of the year. Christmas Day it was open. New Year's Day it was open. Nobody came in, but we were open. The only time
well, that's why they're out of business now.
Yeah, it probably is. We had a whole staff of teenagers in there, goofing around. But yeah, it's. I see these people talking about stores opening. They're closed Thanksgiving, but then they open up at midnight. Sometimes even earlier, 8 p.m., 6 p.m. They're saying, hey, come on and do some shopping after you eat your turkey. And you think about how that kind of sucks for everybody that has to work those places. They don't get the day to spend with their family, a day when people are supposed to be thankful for everything they have. And I guess you got to be thankful to have a job in this day and age.
Well, it's interesting that you bring that up. I was having a similar conversation with someone a couple of days ago, and they pointed out that a lot of people who work on these holidays do so willingly because they're collecting all the overtime that you get for working a holiday.
You get double time, yeah.
Well, I imagine, if you're a full-time employee, you get that, but as a part-time employee, I don't think you get those things.
Well, the laws have changed enough where if you work, I think, more than 30 hours, then you have to get the same benefits.
Well, that still is putting you pretty close to full-time at that point. But evidently there are a lot of people who do this willingly, and I mean, I guess I can understand the interest in making as much money as you possibly can.
And there are a lot of people who just don't have people to hang with, so why the heck not go get paid?
Okay, all right.
And there are some people who don't like people.
On the flip side of this is the commercialism.
You don't say, Chevelle. There are people like that.
There's at least one.
On the flip side of this is the commercialistic approach that most of these places have taken, that Todd was just alluding to. And so, I mean, where do we draw the line? It's easy to point fingers at the companies themselves and say, oh, bad company because you're making all these people work on the holidays. But the reality is they're only doing what the market is pushing them to do.
Because there was a time when they didn't.
Now, there are all these people who are waiting. There were news reports last evening of people that were camped out in front of locations like Best Buy for almost the entire week, in anticipation of Black Friday sales.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know that that's. Yes, there were people there, but I don't think they're really there. Because I've heard the stories.
Wait, what did you say?
Yeah, I don't know where. Yeah,
Where's that
really
drop?
there.
What the hell are you talking about?
Okay, yeah, there we go. Oh wait,
Do I have to wait for this before I make my point?
Yes, you have to wait for it. There you
What
go.
the hell are you talking about?
There you go.
Okay, so you've heard about how.
So they were there, but they weren't really there. Go on.
Well, they're not real people, is what I'm saying. I hate you sometimes.
What did I say?
No, I'm talking about how they have where they basically pay people to wear their clothes, shop in their stores, or, the tastemaker thing. Like, we're gonna give you a whole bunch of free crap. You talk about it, hype it up. If somebody's gonna pay,
they talk
you,
about that, like on social media,
Yeah.
like Instagram people who are like
it happens
tastemakers
all the time. Like, there's this. I don't even know how I came across it, but I was on YouTube watching something, and then I ended up on this. I guess there were these tastemakers, and it was this like 3 people living in this ginormous house, and they had all the latest everything. And this guy was going on and on about how awesome his gas grill was, and how everybody needed to have his gas. I don't only know one person who cares that much about gas grills.
about propane and
that's you.
propane accessories.
I don't care that much about
You
them.
care a lot about your gas grill.
You know what? I got to interrupt this for just a second because apparently we got a phone call, but I didn't hear a phone ring. Did you?
I thought I did hear something.
I heard something buzzing.
But it
You
shouldn't
broke
be
it.
buzzing. The phone should be ringing, and the phone was not ringing, and I don't understand why the phone wasn't ringing. But if you just called, call us back, because I don't know why we didn't get your call.
So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Like, at least one. If you get, it's one of those things where if 1 or 2 people shows up, then everybody else will just show up.
Breaking news.
Oh wait, I got to do that one now. Okay, there you go.
We have a headline here from Facebook. Breaking news, man in bear costume arrested for tearing apart tents of Black Friday campers.
I want to be that guy so bad.
Bear attack
I'm surprised
on Black
that
Friday.
wasn't you. That's pretty hilarious, actually. That's what, that one's as good as the other news stories that were coming out about this Black Friday thing. There were employees of some stores that were actually they were promising that they could get you into the store ahead of everybody else, that you could bypass the whole line. All you had to do was pay a ridiculous sum of money for one of their extra uniforms.
Wow.
So that you could get their uniform and then you could just walk in the door like an employee. Because apparently, the employees are allowed to go in ahead of everybody
and grab their particular things.
Yeah, the idea is no, it's just that you're reporting
supposed
for
to be
work.
working.
So they see
And your
somebody in
manager is
uniform.
that stupid that they're not going to know
Well,
that this guy.
I've never
that should
seen
be
this
wearing-
guy before.
This guy should be wearing like a XXX, and he's coming in with like a medium.
Exactly. See, and that's the thing. Somebody was saying, well, this would never work because all the employees recognize other employees. And I thought about that for a second, and I thought, that's a good cover. But the reality is, they hire an awful lot of temporary labor right about the holidays.
That's what I was just about to say.
How many
I
times
think
do you
there
see
might
new
be.
faces that pop up at your local Target or whatever? You've never seen them before,
Yeah, that could
and you'll
certainly
never
be.
see them again. But they show up in a uniform. They're probably going to get let in the store.
Yeah, you're like, they might have hired somebody today that they might not know.
Yeah.
As long as you're not walking past head of HR or whoever does all the interviews, then you should probably be good.
Wow.
Well, evidently there were people trying to do that, and so that there were.
Did it work?
You know what? They did not say. The reports do not indicate that anyone was or was not successful, but only that the postings were there for about
Was this
3
like on
different
Craigslist or
locations.
something?
They were on various websites, more than just one.
I gotta do that.
I got it.
But
I'd be like, yeah, just show up at the door and I'll hand it off to you. And I'm not even gonna live in Austin, Texas. But you go ahead and you show up.
Well, I got an interesting article here. It says it's from the Business Insider. It's these are the most popular items sold online for Black Friday so far, according to the data. So it has a nice little list here of all the hottest toys. So, everybody out there with kids or even, bigger kids.
well, like,
Chevelle.
why don't you read off a couple of the items that are on the list?
Yeah, they actually took the numbers and crunched it up from all the online retailers.
Okay.
And the number one item, apparently, that everyone wants is Apple AirPods. That's those
What?
those like
The
wireless
headphones, the
earbuds.
wireless
Yeah,
Bluetooth
yeah, yeah.
headphones.
The ones that are so small, if you sneeze, you'll probably lose one
Yeah.
as it falls out of your ear.
Or lose one in your inner ear.
Oh, there you go. There's a possibility too.
Or the some of these items I don't even know. PJ masks?
Oh, that's a cartoon.
Is it?
Yeah, that's a children's cartoon.
I gotta
And
search for
the
this, see what
idea
a PJ
behind
mask
it,
is.
the premise is that these little kids,
Oh, those guys.
yeah, they fight crime at night, and so their pajamas are actually their superhero costumes.
I see.
That looks like my kid.
That is my
But
kid.
mine would be a super villain, though.
All right, so give me another one.
And then, yeah, there's some interesting stuff. You know, some stuff you would see coming, like the Nintendo Switch, the new Xbox One X, the newest Pokemon game, Pokemon Sun and Moon.
You know, here's something that I'm noticing. There's a pattern here. These are all very, very expensive items.
they're relatively. I mean, the PJ Masks
So-
thing that could be, you know,
Who compiled this list exactly? Was it retailers that made this list? You know, I mean,
This
exactly.
says Adobe Analytics crunched the data measuring 80% of all online sales figures from the 100 largest U.S. retailers. So then, yeah, there's something here called LOL Surprise. I don't even know what that is.
I haven't got a clue either.
And
You probably
there's
might not want to click on that one.
Hatchimals,
I don't know.
collectibles. I
Oh,
thought
okay,
those
let's-
Hatchimals.
That's way gimmicky.
Let's not give out all the information. If everybody wants to know what this stuff is, they can go and research it themselves, of course. But
What's a hatch? Didn't I feel like I heard about those Hatchimals? Isn't that crazy
Comes in an
little
egg.
toy? Yeah, that pops out of an egg on its own, but everybody was complaining about it because it didn't really work right. It's like
See,
an
I'm
ultra expensive
I'm very much
toy.
the wrong person to have this conversation with. I have one huge problem whenever I go shopping.
you don't want to spend any money.
is spending money.
That is not a huge problem. I'm actually very comfortable with that.
Oh, okay. So what's the huge
My
problem?
huge problem is when I do go spend money, I only want to spend it on stuff I like.
Yeah.
So everybody
So I
always gets
want-
something that I like.
I want to go back to this Hatchimals thing for a minute because once it hatches, then what? Then your kid
You
tosses
throw it away and you buy another
I was
one.
gonna say, then your kid tosses it in, in
That
like
sounds
a
like a
corner of a
perfect
room and
marketing
never.
plan if you're running the company.
Yeah, it does, actually.
I'm not seeing. This is something I would never buy for my kid because you would use it once and then never look at it again.
That's everything I buy for my
Like,
kid.
Why don't you go play with your Hatchimal? Because it hatched already, and it doesn't do anything anymore. But can we get another one? No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm really getting to a point where I kind of want to just go super old school with the old Tonka truck or something like that, and just like I kind of want the electricity to go off at my house so I don't have to deal with electronics anymore.
you were grumbling about that earlier today when you were saying
I'm
you just
just
didn't bother to
so-
pay your electric bill.
I'm so tired of all of the like, you ever have that day where you don't have Wi-Fi or you're just out of a place, or when you go camping and you do literally unplug? Those days are freaking awesome. Like, they drive you nuts for the first hour maybe, but after that you start
then
to
they
recognize,
get bored and fall asleep.
yeah, but you actually get sleep,
Okay.
and you just you start to recognize that there's actually a world out there, and you start to see all the other zombies. I mean, these electronics have literally turned us into the Walking Dead.
Okay.
Ooh, so deep. I'm gonna tweet that.